If you like audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to Mindshock True Crime. This is the Delphi case series. Episode 44. Is it finally over? Has the true culprit been caught? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It has been reported today, October 28th, 2022, that arrest has been made in connection with the Delphi murders. That doesn't necessarily mean it is the killer, and even if it is, it does not mean this killer acted alone. A lot of question marks here. A lot of people are just jumping on this, oh, yep, case over, case closed. Well, there's something called a trial, there's something called evidence, and even if a guilty party is arrested, tried, and convicted, that doesn't mean they were the only guilty party. So those concerned with real truth and justice don't just slam the book as soon as an arrest has been made and run away to another case. I mean, victims deserve, of course, true justice. Friends and family deserve true closure. And that is, of course, if this is not a whole setup where they're just using a patsy, even if a real criminal. There's so many unanswered questions in this case, one has to be very careful before jumping to assumptions in an illogical and fallacious fashion. And not doing so is, of course, what Mindshock is all about. Examining all available evidence and theory with logic and reason at the forefront. As always, if you find the Mindshock podcast interesting and informative, help keep awareness up in unsolved cases and theoretically solved cases that might not actually be solved in the pursuit of real truth and justice, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube for access to exclusive streams and chats. Like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast, or requests. You can also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. So a couple of different articles here. We'll go over all of them to see if there's any nuance or little tidbits here. Jennifer Smith, chief reporter for Daily Mail, posted this today, October 28th. Man, 50, is arrested in connection with the Delphi murders. Indiana cops make breakthrough in 2017 cold case that has gripped the nation. Notice how it doesn't say anything about murderer arrested. Richard Allen, 50, has been arrested in connection with the 2017 murders. It is the first time his name has ever appeared in relation to the killings. Libby German and Abigail Williams, 14, were both murdered in September 2017. Their bodies were found near a walking trail. The girls had snapped a video of a man walking towards them and recorded him saying down the hill. A 50-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the Delphi murders of Libby German and Abigail Williams. Richard Allen, 50, was taken into custody in Indiana on Friday. It remains unclear what exactly he has been charged with. The girls were murdered in 2017 after arranging to meet a man on abandoned train tracks in the town of Delphi. Allegedly, of course. Their murders remain unsolved for 5 years. Allen's arrest is the first time his name has been publicly associated with the case. Allen's connection to the girls remains unclear, and police say they will not hold any kind of press conference until Monday, which coincidentally happens to be Halloween. Now, people who believe that the police, law enforcement, or government officials are involved in some kind of conspiracy or cover-up with some kind of occult angle, a la Ted Gunderson. McMartin Preschool shades. The Franklin Scandal shades. Of course, connected to the Johnny Gosch case. Connected to all of this occult activity, documented occult activity within upper echelons of government agencies. Now, does that mean that this isn't a coincidence? I mean, every case is entitled to what? One coincidence? Maybe two? But when you have a stack that's so stratospheric, one who's not completely brain dead, like a authority-worshipping cultist and coincidence theorist bootlicker, might possibly raise an eyebrow. But continuing on with the article here, he was initially booked into the county jail, but was moved to a state facility shortly afterwards out of fears for his own safety. In December, there was a flurry of excitement over the case after cops tied a fake Instagram profile of Anthony Schatz to the investigation to the murders. The person behind the account was Keegan Kline, who was 22 at the time of the murders and was arrested a month after them on suspicion of child porn possession. He lived not far from where the girls were killed, and many drew similarities between him and the man the girls photographed on the bridge. Kline, however, insisted that he was innocent. The only other man to have been connected to the case beforehand was James Chadwell, who was arrested on suspicion of kidnapping another young girl in the same area. Delphi police have always been tight-lipped on crucial components of the investigation, including how the girls died, or what kind of condition their bodies were in when they were found. They have not yet revealed what kind of evidence they have against Allen. The families of the two girls have not yet publicly reacted to the news of Allen's arrest. Journal and Courier has an article also. Today is the day. Update to Delphi murders of Libby and Abby announced by ISP. But again, if this is not the killer and someone just associated with the killer, is today really the day? This is why jumping to conclusions can be very selling. Indiana State Police plan a Monday morning news conference to update the investigation of the Delphi murders and who might have killed Libby German and Abby Williams on February 13, 2017. A news release published 12:35 p.m. Friday did not indicate what the update might be. The news conference is scheduled for 10 a.m. Monday at the Delphi United Methodist Church. At another point, some people actually believe that church and another church might be connected to all of this. The Journal and Courier will cover the news conference and publish the information shortly after the meeting at jconline.com. Fox 59 in Indianapolis is reporting that a man named Richard Allen, 50, was arrested and booked into the Carroll County Jail on suspicion of murder in connection to the girls' killings. The Fox 59 reported that the man was moved to a state facility for his safety. The Indianapolis news outlet attributed the information to sources, in quotations. The Journal and Courier called the Carroll County Jail. No one answered. Journal and Courier called County Sheriff Toby Leesenby several times and left voicemails. He did not respond. Indiana State Police Sergeant Jeremy Pierce said he cannot confirm if an arrest was made in the case. Indiana laws require police to release the identity of anyone arrested as well as anyone incarcerated at a jail or prison within 24 hours of the arrest. The name, age, and address of the person arrested as well as the crimes he's suspected of committing is required by law to be released. Pierce still refused to release information, saying any update will be released Monday. That's kind of curious. The Journal and Courier filed a request Friday afternoon to inspect public information with Indiana State Police and Leesenby. They are required to respond within 24 hours of the request. Kelsey German, Libby's older sister, tweeted Friday morning, quote, "Just know how grateful I am for all of you. No comments for now. Any questions, please refer to the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office. There is tentatively a press conference Monday at 10 a.m. We will say more then. Today is the day," end quote, she wrote. The news conference comes almost 6 years after the killings. There was no school Monday, February 13th, 2017, which was an unusually warm day with spring-like temperatures. Abby spent Sunday night at Libby's house. On Monday afternoon, the two went hiking on the trails east of Delphi around Monon High Bridge, which spans Deer Creek. Libby's family became concerned when the girls did not show up at the rendezvous site for their ride home. Family members started a search that night, which was joined by many in the Delphi community. The next morning, the search resumed with search parties fanning out along the trails and creek. A search party found Libby and Abby's bodies along the Deer Creek about a quarter of a mile east of the Monon High Bridge. The land where the girls were killed was owned by Ron Logan. And then, of course, there's plenty of speculations on whether or not they were found in the water and then dragged onto land by searchers. A lot of conflicting information. Again, this is Mindshock. I'm not claiming anything is true or untrue, but there are conflicting reports and radio chatter on exactly how they were found, where they were found, by whom they were found, and if and when they were moved. Police suspected Logan for a while because his alibi of his location on the afternoon of February 13, 2017 was a lie, according to search warrant probable causes confirmed in May to be authentic. Logan was later arrested for violating his probation and sent to prison to serve a suspended sentence. He has since died. Police also interviewed Keegan Kline, a man awaiting trial in Miami County for child exploitation and child pornography charges. A transcript of the detective's interview with Klein indicated that Libby had contact with Klein's catfish social media account titled Anthony_Shots. Klein indicated in an interview with Headline News that police said the person on the Anthony Shots account was the last person to communicate with Libby. A check of online court records indicate that Klein has not been charged with anything connected to the girls' killing. However, police can ethically make false statements to manipulate a suspect to reveal information useful to investigation, and police have not confirmed that the person on Klein's account actually communicated with Libby via the catfish account, which Klein admitted to owning. On the account, Klein used a male model's photo and he pretended to be that person. Days after the killings, police released photos of a sketch of a possible suspect, but 2 years later, police released a second sketch of a possible suspect. The two sketches were strikingly different. Police explained the second sketch was based on additional information and more refined than the initial sketch. Police have been tight-lipped about the investigation, so Monday's news conference can be considered unusual. And here's, of course, the Fox 59 article by Matt Adams here. Man booked into Carroll County Jail in connection with the Delphi murders. Multiple sources indicate that a man named Richard Allen was booked into the county jail Friday in connection with the Delphi murder investigation. Allen, 50, has been moved to a state facility for his safety, sources said. Earlier, law enforcement sources told Fox 59 that a major development was in the works in 2017 murders of Libby German and Abby Williams, with a news conference scheduled for Monday with additional details. So it looks like the sources keep being correct here. The teens disappeared on the Monon High Bridge February 13, 2017. They were reported missing and their bodies were found around noon, February 14, 2017. The high-profile murder case has gone unsolved for more than 5 years, generating mountains of online speculation about the identity of the killer. Police released 2 different sketches of potential suspects. Key evidence included audio and photos from Libby German's phone, with police releasing an audio clip of a man saying, "Down the hill." Court documents unearthed by the Murder Sheet podcast over the summer showed an FBI agent believed that there was probable cause to search the property of Ron Logan, who owned the land on which the girls' bodies were found. Authorities searched the property March 17th, 2017. I mean, that's quite a few weeks afterwards. The search warrant revealed additional details about the investigation, including that there was a recording in which Down the Hill audio originally lasted 43 seconds, only a fraction of which has been released to the public. Additionally, investigators found a large amount of blood at the scene, leading them to believe the perpetrator would have gotten blood on their hands or clothing. The individual may have taken a souvenir from the crime scene, according to court documents, and may have also moved and staged the teens' bodies. According to the warrant, I just had another thought, actually. I don't know if this has been discussed. If somebody has a second pair of clothing, instead of taking off that bloody clothing and disposing of it, is it possible the perpetrator and or perpetrators, they put on their second pair of clothes on top of the bloody clothes? Therefore, anybody who had seen them would not actually see the bloody clothes. Just a thought. I don't know if I've revisited that theory before. So the individual may have taken a souvenir from the crime scene, according to court documents, and may have also moved and staged the teens' bodies. According to the warrant, the investigating agent believed Logan's physical build matched that of the man who appeared in the video from Libby's phone. His voice was not inconsistent with the recording released to the public. Logan also lied about his alibi, according to investigators. He was never named as a suspect or charged in connection with the Delphi case. He has since died. The case, which has gained national attention, has picked up momentum recently, with authorities revealing a social media profile called Anthony Shots had interacted with Libby. Police traced the profile to an individual named Keegan Klein, who was being investigated in connection with a child exploitation case. He has never been charged or named as a suspect in connection with the Delphi murders. In recent months, Indiana State troopers have been searching the Wabash River in Peru, potentially looking for evidence tied to the case. And we can only speculate as to whether or not they actually found anything and if what they found facilitated the arrest of this Allen character. I'm going to go over one more article here from WPTA21.com. Police to announce arrest in Delphi murders Monday. Suspect identified. Police sources say they will announce the arrest of Richard Allen during a Monday news conference updating the case. Indiana State Police will give a news conference announcing an arrest in the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German next week, police told WPTA affiliate WTHR. Police sources confirm to WTHR that a man named Richard Allen is in custody. Police would not release any additional details on Allen, saying more information will be available during Monday's 10 a.m. news conference. Kelsey German, Libby's older sister, also mentioned the news conference and ended the tweet saying, "Today is the day." The news conference will be at the Delphi United Methodist Church. Libby and Abby disappeared during a hike February 13, 2017, near the Monon High Bridge Trail in Delphi. Their bodies were discovered in the woods near the trail a day later. It's been more than 5 years since their murders, and no one has been brought to justice. ISP Superintendent Doug Carter spoke with 13 News about the investigation in February 2022. He told 13 News he still had a great deal of confidence that the case would be wrapping up soon. Quote, "Eventually I'll be able to tell the world what we know, and the rest of the group will be able to tell the world what we know. Unfortunately, I can't right now," end quote, Carter said. The girls' families, in the meantime, are still figuring out how to move forward. Kelsey German, Libby's older sister, said she remains patient, believing at some point the man who killed the girls will be found and charged. "When I'm feeling frustrated, when I feel like no answers are coming and I'm feeling dejected, I say today's the day, it's been coming and it'll get here. We're going to have answers," and just reaffirm myself and say, it's hard, it's frustrating, it's been 5 years, but we're going to have some answers eventually, it's coming. Since the girls' murders, investigators have released pieces of information at different times, including audio and video Libby captured on her cell phone the day she and Abby were killed. Investigators also released 2 sketches, the second coming out 2 years after the first. The second sketch appeared to show a man much younger than in the first sketch. In recent years, investigators questioned Keegan Kline about the murders, but he has never been named as a suspect in the case. Kline admitted to creating a fake online profile with the name of Anthony Schatz to meet underage girls and receive explicit photos. He is scheduled to go to trial for those crimes in January 2023. Okay, so that's basically all available information thus far, from official sources anyway. So here's an interesting post from the Libby and Abby subreddit regarding Allen, who has been arrested. Plastic Maximum responded here. "Holy cow, this guy has checked out my purchases at CVS many times. If this is truly him and he actually did this, crap. I'll just put it this way. Never in 1,000 years would you suspect this guy of anything serious, let alone a double murder. No way. Not with how he interacts with people at CVS. If he's the guy, that's flat out chilling." So I don't know how this is phrased. Checked out my purchases. So does that mean he works at CVS? Or does that mean he shops at CVS? Either way, this person is claiming that this is seemingly a very normal-looking guy with normal actions, which is actually really weird because you have this area in the Delphi area in Indiana where there's no shortage of scumbags, child abusers, murderers, drug addicts, criminals associated with drugs, and the most normal-seeming guy, if he is the true perpetrator, and he's not connected to anybody else and any of these other scumbags, I mean, that's actually really curious. That's very, very surprising. Other people are speculating, hiding in plain sight, flew under the radar. Plastic Maxim also made this post. "My wife and daughter reacted the same way I did. It's unbelievable. The thought also occurred to us that given the fact that he is seen at CVS a lot, and it's the only pharmacy in Delphi, or Carroll County for that matter, there's a high probability that he interacted with members of the girls' family. If he is actually guilty of this, that's a devastating thought." I think they're referring to after the fact. which is weird. I mean, this is really weird if this is really the guy. Other people are speculating that the witness reports, why the witness reports would be off about this guy in terms of different looks, etc. If he really did act alone. Other people are also stating that the guy was involved in the search. And apparently others are stating that he, in fact, did work at Delphi, in Delphi at the CVS. So he worked in Delphi before, during, and after, and supposedly he lives about 5 minutes away from the bridge. Now, is it shocking that he wouldn't have moved away after all of this? Huh. Because suppose at least one witness said that Bridge Guy did not have blue eyes. And this guy does have blue eyes. Another interesting post here by Whitney. If this is the guy, kind of interesting that his wife's Facebook went completely silent from December 2016 through June 2017. Edit, not speculating that she had any idea or knew, as there are many other reasons that could cause someone to take a step back from social media. A few other posts here. My Brain Hurts posted this. In the wife's photos, there is a photo of what I assume is his daughter sitting on the bridge. There is a later photo of her getting married with him and the wife kissing her cheek. It looks like he has a younger daughter as well. Another poster said this. If this is the guy, that photo of his daughter on the Monon High Bridge is going to be one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And those eyes of his are dead as a doornail, chilling. Other people said his voice is very consistent with the audio. I mean, I don't know how much I would put stock in that, because a lot of people, I mean, Doug Carter kind of sounds like the audio. Chadwell sort of sounds like the audio. Ron Logan sort of sounds like the audio. And the audio has been messed with. It's not raw audio that's identical to how the person would actually sound. So I don't know if it means that much. I think it's more useful in eliminating people who sound nothing like it, whereas quite a few people do sound a lot like it. I mean, I don't want to just keep going back to the sketches, but so one sketch, goatee. Other sketch, no goatee. I mean, was he or was he not clean shaven that day? And why does Bridge Guy look different than Young Guy sketch? I mean, there's just, there's so much that doesn't make sense here. I think his eyebrows look quite different than the Young Guy sketch, but a lot of people seem to be convinced that the sketch is a dead ringer. I don't know. Not that the sketch really means anything. And then, of course, other questions are, is this guy connected to the Kleins in any way? Or are there other scumbags in their ring? And is this not an isolated incident? Is there a snuff film? Like, what other kind of criminals might be linked to this guy? We also have the Marathon gas station being in quite close proximity to the CVS. Now, the other curiosity, of course, is the FBI supposedly lost the security footage from Marathon Gas, which was searched on Keegan Klein's phone. Supposedly, obviously, I'm not going to post any of this, but supposedly, he has a daughter that looks similar to Libby. And supposedly, she had a similar tie-dye shirt that Libby had. And a purple coat. Which is very, very weird. Very weird, to say the least. A few other local posters stated that he was the friendliest worker out of all the workers at CVS. Huh. I mean, this is definitely weird, and other people know him from specifically CVS and also local bars. And that him and his wife are both avid pool players. So they're thoroughly involved in the community. I mean, this is not some recluse There were a lot of POIs earlier that they were recluses. Nobody ever never saw them. I mean, this is a guy smack dab in the middle of the Delphi community, not only works at CVS and keeps to himself, but works at CVS and is the most outgoing, friendliest worker at CVS. This is pretty weird. Definitely pretty weird. Again, I'm not alleging anything is true or untrue. Again, if he's arrested in connection with and is not actually the killer, I mean, what does that mean? Also, an interesting post here on the Delphi murder subreddit by Leveraged Sellout, apparently stating that the Kokomo in the Know group on Facebook stated that Allen's yard was dug up by the feds last week. Again, this is just an allegation on the Facebook group. But is that what facilitated the arrest? I mean, what's the timeline here? Was something found in the river that somehow got this guy on the radar? Then they got a warrant, dug up the guy's yard, and then found something damning in the yard. And then that's what facilitated the arrest. I'm just asking questions here. Again, I'm not claiming anything is true or untrue. This is the Mindshock podcast, where the only thing we know for sure is that we don't know anything for sure. Another possibility is that Keegan Kline finally talked, and he named this guy. But who knows? We will see on Monday what new information is released. All we can do is go over available information and not fall for logical fallacies and assumptions. But if he's involved in any way, that's still quite mind-shocking that this supposedly friendly worker at CVS is somehow involved in any way in any of this. Mind-shocking indeed. Plenty more to come in the Delphi series. If you find the series interesting and informative, want to help support Mindshock, keep up awareness, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You could also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.